Previously in the anime, after passing the adventurer test, Rick invited one of his adventurer friends to his party's house to celebrate. But there Laurent happens to run into Brufston and asked Brufston to train him. Now that's an indirect way to go for suicide. And Brufston fulfilled his wish and tied him up with the chains down the hill, but thanks to Rionette his fall was cushioned, but still Brufston took him out again until noon. Laurent died a few times and was brought back to life, like literally he died a few times. Then Brufston asked him to investigate a magic orb because it could open the gate to the strongest monster Kaiser. There are a total of 6 magic orbs and thanks to Laurent they secured one of this orb. These orbs attract each other and thanks to that skill they now know the second magic orb is in Heractopia, a nation famous for its fighting. So as the story continues, 400 years ago, this Heractopia was a desert and the 4th King Alexander visited an arena here and built a massive colosseum. He held competition with no weapons and fought himself. He was undefeated throughout his reign, and many who wished to beat him or to see him came here, and not too long after the desert became this. This kingdom's main business is fighting, and being a fighter here is called pugilist, but their main job was to find the orb. And asking around with Brufston was certainly not helpful at all because of his gigantic size. There they saw a molester hitting on a girl. So Brufston got over there to ask the molester about the orb, but he thought too highly of himself because he's a pugilist, so on his invitation, Brufston went to the sidelines and did his handiwork, and after 5 seconds he became a parrot and told them his name is Gold, and the girl was Militia. They showed them the orb and asked if they saw something similar here. Both of them sure did, but can't recall where they saw the same orb. Then a parade took place where the King of Fist tournament was announced after 2 months. It's a tournament to choose the pugilist champion. And there a 5-time champion Kerwin is participating again, but their militia showed them the orb they were finding is in the belt of the champion. Now what to do? Kerwin went to the gym where he usually goes, a rundown place to help the old man, but the old man knew he's no longer in top condition, yet still Kerwin strives to fight. And there our group came in. Rick tried to explain things his way, but Brufston went his own and directly asked Kerwin to give his belt, not the belt, but the orb in it. And they'll pay back the equivalent orb for it. The owner thought of kicking them out, but Kerwin stopped him and told them he can't let them have it because it's proof of his victory. And if they want it, they'll have to get it by winning the tournament. Brufston agreed and left the settlement, and Kerwin told the owner that just a moment of disrespect and they all could have died by their hand. Because he could sense just by watching Rionette that she's something, plus Rick wasn't special, so he's a mystery, but the orc was the real deal out of them all. And now, Brufston planned to enter the tournament to get this belt, and it's as simple as any competition, just pass the preliminary, win on their respective blocks, and compete in the tournament. For that, Brufston had already obtained a perfect slave, a guide, so he goes to enter from Eastern Bloc then Rick. Now Rick has to pass a little test to first get the title of pugilist and was on his way there, but his fighting partner was a girl, and she is none other than the punching bag. Now that's a reaction, and Angelica knew she was screwed. One old man thought Angelica would win for sure given her records of wins, but his friend told him the new guy might show them a new storm. Angelica was confused why he's here, but Rick asked the same thing to Angelica. Angelica wants to be a pugilist, but now her bad luck started out again. Their referee gave the signal for the start. But she slips down the moment she tried to attack, then she slips down the second time and can't understand what's happening. So Rick tells her that it's his new skill, a non-harmful way to win. To be precise, it's a type of leg sweep attack to demoralize the opponent and best of all, it doesn't cause any injuries. Angelica understood the speed and swiftness of the leg sweep attack, so she tried again and slipped out again. She tried several times but no results so far, so Angelica provoked Rick to go all out, and realizing her mistake, she surrendered before Rick's attack. That marks the end of the match, but it's hardly even a match to begin with. Well, with it, Rick at least became a pugilist to take part in preliminaries, but there Angelica came down to have a talk. She was sad that Rick ravaged her once again, but that's really misleading, so to make her happy he took her to a restaurant where Malaika works to treat her. She was really nice and she was searching for Brufston. The girl is clearly hooked on the big guy, but he was entering through the Eastern League so he was away, anyways. Angelica asked Rick why he came here, and Rick clears it that he wants to win the tournament. But then Rionette asked Angelica when she became a pugilist, and she said just 4 months ago, right after the E-rank test battle with Rick. And she herself is participating in the tournament for some reason, she can't say it, but she has to keep winning to make it to the tournament. Rick himself was planning the same, which shocked Angelica, because she thought Rick would participate in next year's tournament. So she bluntly told the guy he can't possibly be eligible for this year's participation, because they have to win at least 40 fights in the preliminary over half a year to be eligible. So it's simple, just win, but it's a brutal fight with going all out, so people can fight 10 bouts a month at most, and there's only 1 week left for the tournament. But Rick seriously thought of winning 40 fights in 4 days and already requested for the bouts. Then the next day Rick goes over for his participation and asked whom he's fighting today. So the guy warned him that his opponent is a tricky one, although he never got caught. He uses hidden weapons to win, and his look shows he's a cheater dumb. And he's thinking he could win with underhanded trick again, but his mana punch got reverse effects on him. That's why Rick suggested him to train some more before fighting. Anyways, it was his turn. So Rick just showed the air pressure of his fist to win the bout, and as things goes on, the next thing that remains is the tournament. But there's a lizard who's thinking of making a ruckus in the game. Well, we could find that out in another episode, but unfortunately, today's episode comes to an end, so please comment down in the comments section if you want to watch more of this anime. Until then, take care.